Alex hustled through the bustling intergalactic hub, a sprawling complex where beings from across the universe mingled. His eyes were wide with both anticipation and a slight nervousness. Today wasn't just another day. It was the day he would meet his new roommate, an alien from Zeltrax. He'd only ever communicated with her via the interspecies communication service, and her messages were always brimming with an infectious enthusiasm. As he navigated through the crowd, his communicator beeped. He glanced down to see a message from Laura, arriving in 5 minutes. Eager to meet, Alex quickened his pace, making his way to the designated meeting point. He arrived just in time to see a slender figure descending from a sleek shuttle. Her skin shimmered like the surface of a pond at sunrise, and her eyes sparkled with vivid colors that changed with her mood, a characteristic of her species. Alex? Her voice was melodious, carrying across the hum of the busy hub. Yes, Mlara? It's great to finally meet you in person. Alex extended his hand, then hesitated, unsure of her customs. Laughing, Mlara mimicked his gesture and shook his hand. We do shake hands. I've read about human greetings. Hope I did it right. You did perfectly. Alex smiled, relieved. Shall we head to our apartment? I can help you with your luggage. That would be wonderful. I don't have much. Zeltraxian's travel light. Lead the way, Alex. As they walked, Mlara's curiosity was palpable. She inquired about everything from the architecture of the hub to the variety of species they passed. Alex found himself adopting the role of a tour guide. So, humans have built most of this hub? Mlara asked, her gaze fixed on a towering digital information board displaying a multitude of languages. Yeah, it's one of the older interspecies projects. It was designed to be a central meeting point. Pretty impressive, right? Very much so. On Zeltrax, we use organic technology. Our buildings grow as we need them. They are part of our ecosystem. That sounds fascinating, Alex replied, genuinely intrigued. You'll have to tell me more about that. Maybe you can help add some Zeltraxian elements to our place. I'd love to. It'll make me feel more at home, she beamed. They arrived at the apartment complex, an elegant building with smooth contours and large windows that offered a view of the bustling district below. Alex led Mlara up to their apartment, opening the door to a modest but cozy space. This is it, Alex announced. Not exactly organic tech, but it's home. Mlara stepped in, her eyes roving curiously. It's wonderful, Alex. Oh, what's that? She pointed at a small, potted plant on the windowsill. That's just a Terran fern. Nothing special, but it is. We have nothing like this on Zeltrax. May I? She reached out delicately. Of course, Alex nodded. As Mlara touched the plant, Alex watched her expression soften, a look of serene pleasure crossing her features. Thank you, Alex. I think I'm going to like it here, she said, turning to him with a smile. I'm sure you will. Let's get you settled in. Then, maybe dinner? There's a great multi-species restaurant nearby. We can try some human dishes, and you can tell me all about Zeltrax. I'd like that very much, Mlara replied, her voice warm. As they unpacked her belongings, Alex realized how much he was looking forward to the days ahead. With Mlara's arrival, his routine life was about to get a lot more interesting. As the morning light filtered through the blinds, Alex prepared breakfast in the small but functional kitchen. He was determined to introduce Mlara to some human breakfast classics. Hearing the shuffling of feet, he turned to see Mlara enter the kitchen, her eyes still adjusting to the light. Good morning, Alex. What is that wonderful smell? Good morning. I'm making pancakes. Thought you might like to try them, Alex said, flipping a pancake expertly. Pancakes? They smell delightful. Can I help with anything? Mlara asked, her curiosity piqued as she observed the sizzling batter. Sure, you could start by making some coffee. Do Zeltraxians drink coffee? Alex inquired, a half-smile on his face. We have similar beverages. I'm eager to try yours, she replied, approaching the coffee machine with interest. After a brief explanation, she handled the machine with surprising ease, her face lighting up with excitement. There, it's working. As they sat down to eat, Mlara tentatively tasted her first pancake, drizzling a little syrup as Alex had shown her. Her eyes widened with delight. This is delicious, Alex. The texture is fascinating, fluffy yet substantial. Alex laughed. Glad you like it. Pancakes are a weekend tradition back home. Their conversation flowed effortlessly from there, touching on topics from favorite foods to family traditions. Mlara shared tales of Zeltraxian delicacies that made Alex's mouth water. I'll have to cook for you one evening, Mlara suggested. It would only be fair. That's a deal. Alex agreed enthusiastically. Later that day, Alex decided to show Mlara around their neighborhood. They visited local shops and a small park, where human children played under the watchful eyes of their parents. Mlara was particularly fascinated by a group playing soccer. What are they doing? She inquired, watching the children chase after the black and white ball. It's called soccer. Want to try? Alex asked, noticing an empty part of the park. With a nod, Mlara joined him in a patch of grass, and Alex explained the basic rules. They kicked the ball back and forth, laughing as Mlara tried to block a particularly fast shot, only to stumble slightly, her feet unaccustomed to the rapid changes in direction. You're getting the hang of it, Alex encouraged, offering a hand to help her up. I need more practice, but it's exhilarating, Mlara admitted, brushing off her clothes. As the day turned into evening, they found themselves at a small diner that Alex claimed had the best burgers in town. Over dinner, their conversation deepened, discussing everything from the philosophy of language to the ethics of interplanetary travel. It's fascinating, Mlara said as she sipped her drink, how much we can share and learn from each other. I've read about cultural exchanges in the academy, but experiencing it is entirely different. Yeah, it's one of the reasons I studied xenolinguistics. I wanted to bridge worlds with words, Alex shared, his eyes reflecting a genuine passion. As they walked home, the stars beginning to dot the sky, Mlara looked up in wonder. Your sky looks so different from Zeltrax's. I could get lost staring at it. Maybe one night we can go stargazing. I'll show you some constellations, Alex offered, his voice warm. I'd like that very much, Mlara replied, her tone matching his. Back at the apartment, they settled in for the night, both feeling a sense of contentment. As Mlara retired to her room, she turned to Alex with a smile. Thank you for today. It was enlightening. Anytime, Mlara. Good night, Alex responded, realizing that the days ahead would be filled with many more firsts and fascinating exchanges. As he closed his own door, Alex felt a profound sense of fulfillment. His interstellar roommate was not just a new friend but a new window to a vast and intriguing universe. As the weeks progressed, the novelty of their shared living situation gave way to a comfortable routine. However, cultural differences were bound to cause a few hiccups. One morning, as they prepared for the day, Alex noticed Mlara looking puzzled over a stack of colorful flyers that had been slipped under their door. What's got you confused? Alex asked, pouring himself a cup of coffee. These, Mlara held up a flyer, which advertised a local costume party. I understand it's a party, but why do humans want to disguise themselves? It's just fun. A way to be someone else for a night, Alex explained, chuckling at her bewildered expression. People enjoy the creativity and escapism. Fascinating, Mlara murmured, studying the flyer more intently. Perhaps we should attend. It could be educational. Alex nodded, amused by her enthusiasm. Sure, it could be a good experience. The day of the party arrived, and Alex helped Mlara with her costume, explaining the various traditional outfits people might wear. Mlara chose a classic superhero outfit, fascinated by the concept of Earth's fictional heroes. As they arrived at the party, Mlara's eyes lit up with excitement and curiosity at the sight of people dressed in an array of costumes, from historical figures to mythical creatures. This is extraordinary, she said, taking in the sights and sounds. Your world is so colorful, so diverse. Glad you like it, Alex smiled, guiding her through the crowd. Throughout the evening, Mlara observed and interacted, asking numerous questions and learning about the various characters and costumes. However, her unfamiliarity with personal space norms soon became apparent. She enthusiastically hugged a man dressed as a medieval knight after a particularly interesting conversation about Earth's history. The knight, taken aback, chuckled awkwardly. Well, you're certainly friendly. Alex quickly intervened, explaining with a smile, "She's still learning our ways. Apologies if she caught you off guard." "It's all right," the knight replied, still smiling. "It's a party after all." On their way home, Alex gently addressed the issue. "Mlara, about the hugging earlier. Humans usually only do that with close friends, or when it's clear both people are comfortable with it." Mlara looked perplexed but took the lesson to heart. "I see. I will be more cautious. It's challenging to remember all these invisible rules." "It's okay. You're doing great," Alex reassured her. "It's all part of the learning process." The following day, as they enjoyed a quiet breakfast, Alex decided to delve deeper into human social cues to help Mlara. He explained various nonverbal signals and social norms, trying to demystify the complex world of human interaction. "So, a smile can mean many things, depending on the situation," Alex concluded, after a lengthy discussion. "Your communication is as complex as it is fascinating," Mlara said, her tone thoughtful. "On Zeltrax, we often use color changes to express feelings. It's less ambiguous." "That sounds practical," Alex mused. "Here, we have to pay close attention to context and body language." Their conversation was interrupted by the doorbell. Alex opened the door to find a neighbor, Dan, who invited them to a casual get-together. "Hey, I'm having a few friends over tonight. Thought you might want to join," Dan offered, smiling. "We'd love to." Alex accepted, and Mlara nodded, eager for another chance to observe and learn. That evening, as they mingled with Dan's friends, Alex watched Mlara navigate the social waters with more awareness. She was quickly becoming adept at picking up cues and responding appropriately. As they walked home later, Mlara expressed her gratitude. "Thank you for helping me understand these things, Alex. I feel more connected." "You're welcome," Alex said, feeling a warm sense of camaraderie. "It's all part of sharing our worlds with each other." Their conversation faded into a comfortable silence, both reflecting on the leaps they had made in understanding not just each other's cultures, but each other as individuals. Their friendship, strengthened by patience and mutual respect, was blossoming into a beautiful testament to intercultural harmony. One Saturday morning, Alex decided that it was a perfect day to introduce Mlara to one of his favorite hobbies, photography. He thought it would be a fun activity to explore together and a chance to teach her more about human expressions and body language, which are often captured through the lens. "Mlara, how about we go out for a photo walk? I can show you some basics of photography, and you can learn more about human expressions up close," Alex suggested as they finished their breakfast. "That sounds delightful, Alex. I've noticed you have many pictures around the apartment. Do they serve a memory function for humans?" Mlara asked, her voice full of curiosity. "Exactly. They help us capture and remember moments, people, and places. Let's get ready and head to the park. It's the best place to start," Alex replied, already excited about the prospect. They made their way to the local park, camera in hand. Alex began explaining the different settings on the camera and how the light affects the photo. Mlara listened intently, taking in every word. "Now, let's try taking some pictures. Look for expressions or moments that catch your eye," Alex instructed as he handed her the camera. Mlara peered through the viewfinder, her eyes scanning the park. She paused, focusing on a father and son playing catch. The joy and laughter shared between them seemed to resonate with her, and she snapped a photo. "This is fascinating, Alex. Capturing emotion like this. It's almost intimate," Mlara remarked, handing the camera back to Alex. "It can be. That's why it's important to respect people's privacy and space when taking photos. It's about capturing moments without intruding," Alex explained, reinforcing the lesson with a practical example. Mlara nodded, absorbing the lesson. "I understand better now why you explained personal space and boundaries the other day." They continued their walk, discussing various aspects of human and Zeltraxian culture. Mlara was quick to point out similarities and differences, showing a keen understanding of human norms. As the afternoon progressed, they stopped at a cafe near the park. Over coffee, their conversation shifted to deeper topics. "Alex, in Zeltraxian culture, we often share personal space freely. It's a form of communication for us. But I've noticed humans guard their personal space more. Why is that?" Mlara asked, stirring her coffee thoughtfully. It's a good question. I think it's because personal space can be a reflection of our personal boundaries. Respecting those boundaries helps build trust, Alex responded, glad for the opportunity to delve into such topics. Trust is universal, then. We just express it differently, Melara concluded, smiling. Yes, exactly. Alex agreed, pleased with her insight. The conversation helped Melara grasp the nuances of human interaction, and Alex appreciated her efforts to understand and adapt. It was clear that both were learning from each other, bridging their worlds one step at a time. After their cafe visit, they walked back home, chatting comfortably. Alex felt a deep sense of satisfaction from sharing his hobby and his culture with Melara, and Melara was grateful for the insights into human behavior. I'll practice more with the camera. Maybe I can capture some moments from our daily lives to share with my people when I return to Zeltrax. It would be a nice way to show them how much I've learned here, Melara suggested, her tone hopeful. I think that's a great idea, Alex said, supportive of her wish to share her experiences. As they reached their apartment, both felt a renewed appreciation for their unique situation. They were not just roommates. They were cultural ambassadors, each teaching and learning in equal measure. The day ended with a quiet dinner at home, both reflecting on the day's lessons and looking forward to more shared experiences. Their journey of cultural exchange was just beginning, and both were eager to see where it would lead them next. The city's annual cultural festival was in full swing, a vibrant exhibition of Earth's diverse communities alongside representations from various alien civilizations. Alex had been looking forward to showing Melara this side of human society, a kaleidoscope of traditions and customs all celebrated under one banner. Melara, you're going to love the festival. It's one of the best ways to experience the variety of Earth's cultures alongside some from the interstellar community, Alex said with excitement as they approached the festival grounds. The sounds of music from different corners of the world and beyond filled the air, mixed with the sense of exotic spices and cooking food. Melara's eyes were wide with fascination as they walked past stalls showcasing art, food, and crafts from dozens of different species. Each booth is like stepping into a new world, Melara observed, her voice filled with wonder. Your planet is truly welcoming to so many cultures. It's one of the things I'm proudest of, Alex admitted as they stopped at a booth offering traditional Japanese calligraphy alongside intricate script from a distant planet Alex didn't recognize. They spent the afternoon exploring the booths, trying different foods, and enjoying the performances. Melara was particularly enthralled by a traditional Indian dance, followed by a martial arts demonstration from a humanoid species known for their agility. As the day began to fade into evening, the festival lights came on, bathing the area in a warm, inviting glow. They found themselves in a quieter part of the festival where a small stage was set up for acoustic performances. Let's take a break and enjoy the music, Alex suggested, guiding Melara to a set of benches arranged around the stage. As they sat, a gentle melody began to play, a soothing contrast to the day's vibrant activities. The music seemed to stir something in Melara. Her usual bright demeanor softened into a reflective quietude. Music is powerful, isn't it? Alex said softly, noting her change in mood. It can make us feel connected, even when we're far from home. Yes, it's universal, isn't it? A language that doesn't need translation, Melara replied, her gaze fixed on the musicians. Alex, she hesitated, searching for the right words. I've felt so welcomed here, by you, by everyone. It's more than I hoped for. I'm glad to hear that, Melara. I've learned a lot from you too. It's been an incredible exchange, Alex shared, feeling a warmth spread through him. The conversation lulled as they listened to the music. After a moment, Melara turned to Alex, her expression earnest. In Zeltraxian culture, we share a dance when we feel a deep connection with someone. Would you share a dance with me? Alex was touched by her offer. I would like that very much, he said, standing and offering her his hand. They stepped onto an open area near the stage, moving slowly to the music. As they danced, there was a shift in the air, a deepening of the connection they had been building over the past weeks. Melara's hand in his was steady and sure, her smile gentle under the festival lights. The song ended too soon, and they paused, still close. Melara looked up at Alex, her eyes reflecting the festival lights, her expression open and vulnerable. "Thank you, Alex, for everything," she said quietly. Alex smiled, his heart full. "Thank you, Mlara, for being here, for sharing this with me." They walked back through the festival, now hand in hand, a silent acknowledgement of the shift in their relationship. They were no longer just roommates or cultural ambassadors. They had become something more, something deeply connected by shared experiences and genuine affection. As they reached their apartment later that night, both felt a contentment that neither had expected when they first met. They had discovered not just new aspects of each other's cultures, but new depths to their own emotions. The morning after the festival, the apartment was filled with a quiet tension, a mixture of anticipation and uncertainty. Alex was in the kitchen, making coffee, while Mlara was sitting at the table, looking thoughtful. The previous night's events had opened new emotional avenues for both of them, and now they needed to navigate these uncharted waters. "Good morning," Alex said, placing a cup of coffee in front of Mlara. "Good morning, Alex," Mlara replied, her smile tentative. "About last night?" "Yes, I've been thinking about that too," Alex said, sitting down opposite her. "I felt something different." Mlara nodded. "So did I. It was more than just enjoyment or friendship. I felt a connection, Alex, a deep one. But I am not entirely sure what that means for us here, on Earth, in your culture." Alex took a deep breath, choosing his words carefully. Here, when two people feel a connection like that, they might decide to explore those feelings, to see where they lead. It's important, though, that we're both comfortable and agree on how we proceed. Consent is crucial, Mlara. Consent. Yes, we value this greatly on Zeltrax as well. I would like to explore these feelings with you, Alex, if you feel the same, Mlara said, her voice steady but her eyes searching his for any signs of hesitation. "I do feel the same, Mlara. I want to see where this connection might take us," Alex responded, his voice firm, conveying his sincerity. They spent the day together, discussing what their new relationship would look like. They talked about their cultures, their personal boundaries, and how they could be sensitive to each other's needs. It was a day of discovery, not just of each other but also of themselves. As evening approached, they decided to cook dinner together, turning the meal preparation into an opportunity to continue their dialogue. Mlara shared more about Zeltraxian relationship dynamics, while Alex explained human dating customs. On Zeltrax, we often share a meal as a way of solidifying a bond. "It's similar to what we're doing now," Mlara explained as she chopped vegetables. "That's interesting," Alex said, stirring a pot on the stove. "Here, sharing a meal can also be significant. It's a way of spending time together, sharing parts of our lives." The meal was simple but delicious, and they ate slowly, enjoying each other's company. After clearing the dishes, they moved to the living room, where Alex put on some soft music. "May I have this dance?" Alex asked, extending his hand with a smile. Mlara accepted, and they danced slowly in the living room, far more aware of each other than they had been even at the festival. This time, their dance was more intimate, a mutual exploration of their newfound feelings. As the song ended, they remained close, hesitant to break the connection. Alex looked into Mlara's eyes, seeing the reflection of his own emotions there. "Mlara, being with you tonight, it feels right," Alex whispered. "It does, Alex. I am glad we are taking this journey together," Mlara replied, her voice soft. They decided to take things slowly, to ensure that both were comfortable with every step they took together. It was a mutual agreement, a pact made on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. Later that night, as they prepared for bed, Alex felt a profound peace. They had crossed a threshold, but they had done it together, with care and consideration. "Good night, Mlara," Alex said as they parted at their bedroom doors. "Good night, Alex. Thank you for today," Mlara responded, her smile bright and genuine. As they each retired to their rooms, they were filled with a sense of anticipation about what the future held. They had taken the first steps toward something potentially beautiful, and while the path ahead was uncertain, they were ready to face it together, step by step. The following morning, Alex was up early, busy organizing his notes for a joint presentation he and Mlara had been preparing for weeks. They planned to showcase insights into human and Zeltraxian cultures, aiming to foster understanding between Earth and other worlds. As Mlara entered the kitchen, Alex looked up, smiling. "Ready for our big day?" he asked, offering her a cup of coffee. Mlara took the cup, her expression warm. "More than ready. I have a feeling this presentation could help bridge more than just academic knowledge." Alex nodded. "That's the hope. I think people will appreciate learning about Zeltraxian customs, especially those rooted in emotional understanding. It's something we could use more of." They spent the morning rehearsing, going over their respective parts of the presentation. Mlara's segments delved into the Zeltraxian concepts of communal relationships and the way her people shared feelings openly, using subtle physical gestures and changes in skin tone as markers of emotion. Alex, on the other hand, shared human perspectives on individuality and respect for personal boundaries. After a couple of practice rounds, Mlara looked at Alex, her gaze thoughtful. "Alex, when this is all over, do you think we might have a future together beyond this project?" Alex paused, meeting her eyes with sincerity. "I'd like that. More than anything, actually. I think what we have goes deeper than just cultural exchange. We understand each other." Mlara's face softened. "Then we'll need to consider how to blend our lives. I'll have to explain our connection to my family, and they may not understand it at first. Zeltraxians rarely form relationships with humans." Alex took her hand, giving it a reassuring squeeze. "We'll figure it out together, step by step, just like we've done everything so far." When the time for the presentation arrived, they stood side by side before an attentive audience, sharing their findings and experiences with warmth and enthusiasm. The crowd responded with genuine curiosity, asking questions and expressing interest in learning more. As the event wrapped up, one attendee approached them, smiling. "What you two have is inspiring," she said. "It's clear you're building something special." Alex glanced at Mlara, his heart full. "Thank you. We're just getting started." As they walked home that evening, hand in hand, Alex and Mlara shared a quiet sense of accomplishment, knowing that whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. Their futures, once separate, had become deeply intertwined, and neither could imagine it any other way. A week after their presentation, Alex and Mlara were invited to a community gathering organized to celebrate interspecies relationships. It was a small but meaningful event, filled with both humans and aliens who were curious and open to learning about each other's cultures. Alex was particularly proud, knowing that their work had inspired this gathering. As they entered, Alex noticed a familiar face approaching them. It was Dan, their neighbor, who grinned broadly. "Hey, you two. Didn't expect to see you here," Dan greeted them, shaking Alex's hand. "That presentation last week was fantastic. Really opened my eyes." Mlara smiled, bowing slightly in Zeltraxian tradition. "Thank you, Dan. We're honored to be here. This is the kind of event Alex and I envisioned, a place where people can simply be themselves." Dan nodded. "Honestly, the way you two blend your worlds together, it's inspiring. So, are there any big plans for you both?" Alex exchanged a glance with Mlara, a subtle smile passing between them. "Actually, yes. We're working on a new project to further promote cross-cultural understanding, maybe even a community center where people from all worlds can come to share knowledge." "That's brilliant," Dan said, clapping Alex on the shoulder. "You two make a great team." As the evening progressed, Alex and Mlara mingled with others, exchanging stories and learning about new species they'd never encountered before. At one point, a Zeltraxian elder approached them, his gaze thoughtful as he studied Alex. "You must be the human who has taken our Mlara's interest," the elder said in a formal tone, his eyes curious yet warm. Alex straightened, feeling a mix of nerves and respect. "Yes, sir. I am. I'm honored to know Mlara and to share in her culture." The elder's expression softened. "It is unusual for us to connect with other species on such a personal level, but perhaps that is a limitation we placed on ourselves. I see that you care for her deeply." "I do," Alex replied earnestly, glancing at Mlara, who looked back with an affectionate smile. The elder gave a slight nod. "Then may you both find the wisdom to navigate this path together. It will not always be easy, but such connections are worth nurturing." "Thank you," Mlara said, her voice full of emotion. As the evening wound down, Alex and Mlara stood together, watching the crowd disperse. A comfortable silence settled between them, broken only by the soft hum of distant conversations. "This was a good night," Lara said, leaning slightly against Alex. "It was," Alex replied, his arms slipping around her shoulders. "And it's just the beginning. We have a lot to look forward to." Lara tilted her head, looking up at him. "Alex, I'm grateful we met. I never imagined my time on Earth would lead to this. To us." "Neither did I," Alex admitted, smiling. "But I wouldn't change a thing." They shared a quiet moment, the city lights sparkling around them. Their journey had been unexpected, filled with challenges and discoveries, but standing there together, they knew they had found something rare and enduring, a connection that spanned worlds.